Long live the Gambit glasses. Alright, we're playing Jan Gustafsson. GM. Another German. We're keeping the Gambit glasses on because we're playing the Goring Gambit. Emote only. Turning that on. Alright, d5. Nice move. Nice move. They're saying instead of accepting the Gambit and going into a dangerous version of the Danish, I just want you to take these pawns. I say no, I try to Gambit. They're saying, please, I don't want to be down a pawn. I don't want to be up a pawn. We're giving them one more opportunity to take on c3. Okay, and they want that one. So we keep the Gambit glasses on after all. Awesome, awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Alright, let's play Rook b1. I think I should play like h3 against bishop g4. Alright, yeah, let's play h3, so it's not coming here. Let's play here, so the bishop's not going anywhere. Okay. Let's go here. Well, unless we have like some fun ideas. Here comes the d4 is an interesting one. Alright, let's just go here. Because one of my ideas was this. I didn't want bishop a6. Bishop e6 makes sense. I like... This is interesting here. Queen d7 is not really playable, right? I wanted to just kind of do that. Go here. Then I could have crossed. It's okay. It's okay. Doesn't cause so much of an issue. Bishop c2. Alright, let's just go here. I think I could have done something better. That's fine. Okay, they played g6, right, against this. Alright, wait, what if I, like, zigzag some pins? So I've got that one, right, you slide over, and then I got that one. Zigzagging some pins. How are you dealing with this? So the rook here did a good job. I mean, this is the pawn I gambited, right? So we open that file. A lot of pressure in your position. Okay, you want me to take it if you insist. What's happening? Knight takes e5? No way. Wait, isn't this just really good? How do you survive if you're black here? How do you not lose immediately? How do you not lose immediately? I don't even know. Ew! Oh! That can't be fun. What if I just go here and really just kill you? I was so close to having takes and bishop b3 mate in that position, but there is bishop e6. If that pawn weren't blocking, that would have been such a cool way to win. I don't know. I can't do it. This king h8. Okay, didn't I just win? Aren't I just literally up a rook? Guys. You guys. Are you aware of what you're witnessing right now? Are you aware? It is the absolute triumph of the Gambit glasses. Long may they reign. Long may they reign. I'm sleeping in these. I am never taking them off as long as I live. And when I play on chess.com, I'm gonna wear them even harder. I'll get another pair to put on top of them. 98 accuracy. GG, by the way. GG, my man Jan Gustafsson. My man Jan Gustafsson got pranked by the Goring Gambit. And was that the last round of Tail Tuesday? Yeah, that was the last round of Title Tuesday. We just finished with 7 out of 11, and I think all 4 of our losses were to GMs. No, 3 of them were to GMs. The other was that guy who was real well prepped against the Bushgas Gambit. How about it? How about it, Gambit Nation? Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, knight c6, d4, take c3, d5, bishop d3, knight f6, e5. Okay. So this is a fun line. It's a fun line because if you accept this, then there's bishop to c4. I see my man Jan is streaming. But, so there's bishop to c4 here, and then we can get our fun Danish gambit here without the resource d5, which is always a bailout for them in this position. If you were to just, you know, throw a Danish at them right now, e4, e5, d4 takes c3, right? d5 is a bailout here. d5 is a bailout here. d5 is a bailout here. Literally at any moment, they can just go d5, and they'll be okay. But when you do it in this move order, e takes d5 with a tempo on the knight, things change. Things change. And so also here, d5, they're playing now to try and decline the gambit, right? So being like, okay, just trade, and we'll be playing equal position. I'm like, no, I play bishop d3. And the difference here with the knights in this position is that knight f6, which otherwise would have just hit my bishop and made me move again. I do have bishop takes c6 with a quick castle. And then I can either pick up both pawns or punish you for staying in the center with some fun little resources here. This is all covered in the Danish, in the Goring video on my channel. So, Goring Gambit, improved version of the Danish. Knight f6, e5, knight e4, and then also instead of just taking this, and they have check, they have here, they got some pressure on d4, we could play it like this, but we're like, no. We're like, no, take the pawn again. And they actually do have to be very careful here, because if they play this g4 and then just eat this pawn, you can actually lose a piece in this line very creatively here with the bishop hanging. So, a lot of people fall into that. That's not obvious at all. But, okay, he didn't. Now he took on c3, and so he accepted this gambit. Better here, bishop f5, because this diagonal gets really good, and the problem here is that I immediately played h3, and so we get this position, which looks like, why should I have any compensation? Why should I have any compensation? I just, like, it looks like a normal position except what happened to the b2 pawn, right? However, I have no weaknesses. First of all, I played h3 to keep this bishop out of g4, so it can't come to g6 to patch up against, you know, one of my favorite resources, which is just the bishop streaking down this diagonal, uncontested and without a knight there, so lots of pressure on h7. And you saw I induced g6 in the game, and that's what ended up getting him, because of the pressure on h7. So here, castles, I just bring my rooks out. He plays b6 to relieve the tension on b7. Keep that in mind. I just play rook e1. I'm just developing, bishop e6. And here, yeah, I'm just being normal. I have a few ideas. Yeah, queen a4 is an idea, hitting the knight, but then it's like, where, like, I didn't have these squares. Like, yeah, I was thinking about this, queen f4. Okay, but, like, what am I doing? Yeah, okay, I can come to g3, start looking at ideas. It makes sense, like that's where I won. It was just kind of a lot of moves, and I felt like knight a5 wasn't an inconvenience, and c5 was a move they wanted to play anyway. So I didn't do it. Queen c2 is another option. Yeah, induce h6, and then go to the same idea, right? Just induce h6 so that that's kind of like potentially a resource. It's just kind of interesting. It takes away g6 as a resource if that is hanging. So just induce h6 is kind of interesting. Okay, but anyway, I went for bishop c2 and queen d3, which is an idea. Also, knight d4 can be an option. Trying to go f4, f5 at some moment. My point is, like, queen d7, here I think they're totally fine if they can play, like, f5. Whoa, I totally lied. What's the point? Oh, no. They need f5, like, first. They need f5, like, first. Yeah, so queen d3, okay, we can induce g6. This game probably should have continued like this. Instead, they played g6 themselves. They volunteered it so that they can meet queen d3 with bishop f5, which makes sense. But you just played g6 without me even having to do this, and instead, what I'm going to do, I'm not just going to go queen d3 because you want me to. I just jump in bishop h6, and then I'm zigzagging all over the place. Here, yeah, you should have just given the rook. You should have just given the rook, and I would have traded off for... Because now you put these pawns all in light squares, so this guy's not that good. This was the main danger, and now you have an uncontested dark square bishop and a pawn, so you have a little bit of compensation, but it's still plus 1.3 here. So in the game, rook e8, bishop a4, so we're zigzagging all over the place, pins, because we made that pawn move, right? Very importantly, we made that pawn move, so now the knight becomes very difficult to defend, and they just make a bad problem worse here with bishop d7. Again, they just need to bite the bullet and lose the exchange. Queen d7, also not an option because knight d4, and otherwise, like, yeah, your position's kind of jammed. This bishop on e6 is not well placed. It's just a big pawn there, right? Like, why would it be good there? It was taking away f5 resources. Like, yes, you had to move it. It wasn't a bad move. But I'm just saying, because you didn't have this diagonal, and because I played h3, the bishop actually had nowhere to go, and that was kind of a lot of my compensation. So playing b6, bishop e6 was already a little testy, because you're making a weakness here and playing bishop e6. Like, is it really worth it to put the bishop all the way on e6, what you have to do there? I don't think so. So in the game, bishop to d7, it just had to come right back, but queen takes d5, it's worse than just a pawn. It's worse than just a pawn, because again, your pawn's on b6. Shout out to this rook. I didn't have the pawn on b2. So now the knight is hit again, And now what are you doing? Any knight move, I just take this bishop for free. So he played knight b8 in the game. Now asking me, please, can I just lose an exchange? And I'm like, no, I have even better here, and I just go bishop b3, just getting out of the way. Bishop takes d7 to be clear, knight takes d7, queen defends the rook, so it's not immediately winning. But bishop to b3. Yeah, in the game what I was talking about was actually like this. Takes, and apparently this could be worse. But check. If this pawn didn't exist, this would be really, really cool. Oh, maybe they'd have king f6 or something. But okay, they have bishop e6. But I'm always on the lookout if I can checkmate them like that. Apparently this was even better than what I did during the game because they had something like that. But that's a crazy move to play. If I played that, then maybe they'd have a point about telling me to take off the glasses. If I played that instead of just the very simple bishop to b3. Because bishop to b3 is so simple. I keep the threat on the rook and you can't deal with that while also guarding mate. So yeah, that sucks for you. Bishop e6 I take here. They give one last ditch attempt to trap the queen, but there's nothing there. Queen is getting out very easily. And I'm just up a very clean rook and pawn, and so my opponent resigns. GG. 20 moves against the GM with the Goring Gambit. How about it? How about it? I don't know, guys.
William Grave, the Gambit man, takes his seat at the board. e4, e5, knight f3, bishop c5. The Bushcast Gambit on the board. On with the Gambit classes. Hero pod unlocked.